The situation at Spurs is oh so wrong. It's all part of Phoenix and Levy's gone. A world-class stadium, second-rate team. Spurs are winning nothing under this regime. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Intense are filling their coffers to the brim. The football forecast looks so grim. Spurs last cup win in 2008. Unlike a proper investment, it's what true fans hate. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Intense are filling their coffers to the brim. The football forecast looks so grim. Spurs last cup win in 2008. A lack of proper investment is what true fans hate. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Project Youth, just another Levy feast. Dismantling Spurs history piece by piece. The stadium just an entertainment hub. No true fan wanted this for our club. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Legendary Bill Nick would turn in his grave if he knew how the owners now behave. Corporate greed and no success. We need to work together to get our club out of this mess. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out. Together we need to shout, Levy and Nick out.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham Away, the best place to be on a Monday night. And you know this if you're a Spurs fan. Welcome as always. I'm Stelios, your communist woke host from that channel. Thanks for being here, everyone. Yeah, I'm joking. If you don't get it, I don't know what else I can do. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff as always. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Big up to Sava as well for the raid and everyone who's joined us from the Sava raid. Get your comments in the chat. We'll go for as many as we can during the show. If you put in a super chat, we'll make sure we'll answer your question or discuss your point. Chelsea on Thursday. Southampton away. No, Southampton at home on Sunday. We've got the big change for Tottenham protest as well on the weekend. And Europa Cup action starts again next week. Plenty coming up, plenty going on after the 2-week break. And the financial accounts for Tottenham came out today. Yay! How you doing, Iggy? You all right?
This is full of good news, aren't you? No, I'm good. It's like I said it. I've done a video this morning. I was saying that it's been a long time. It feels like it's been ages since the last Spurs game, and it hasn't been at all bad. But jokes aside, peace and love. No, it's not peace and love. It's one love. Look, one love. There we go. So
one love.
Yeah, look, it's a nice little break away from football. But yeah, it all starts up, and you know it really does take off because there's games within like sort of every 3 or 4 days. So there's going to be a lot of football to be played. But let's be honest, in terms of the league, what is there to say to it? Really, games. I would just like that we can find a bit of novelty and bring some young players through, give them some Premier League experience. But it's all going to come down to the Europa League for me and what we do there, and to try and stay in it as long as possible, and hopefully go all the way. Who knows? It's wishful thinking. I know. I see your faces straight away. It's wishful thinking, but it's the only thing I can go on, man. Wishful thinking right now.
Listen, we're gonna see, right? It's gonna pan out. JP, how you doing? Nice hoodie there. I like it.
It's got to keep the message going, eh? Keep the message going. Levy out. Always. I'm sure we will come into it, but there was one fun statement that I saw. Was like, since 2019, we've invested over 700 million net in player acquisition, and we end up with this dross. Great businessman. 2-1.
Well,
What I will say is, on a happy note, because I'm sure we'll get onto that, I'm with Jimmy Hotspur. We're unbeaten in 3 weeks, and I'm happy.
well, unbeaten in 3 weeks. Big up to Jimmy Hotspur. Undefeated in 3 weeks. Hurrah!
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, look, we used to have players like this on, just hanging around the club. Berbatov, Modric. We spent 770 million. Thank you, Daniel. And now we've got these gangsters. The dream team are in town. Cheers, mate. Nice one, mate. Maz, how you doing? You've completely turned your back on Spurs as you're busting your Guna red kit on tonight.
No, it's salmon. It's salmon pink, but it's
Salmon
not
pink.
It's not.
Never red. Never red.
So same colour Still's chair.
Yeah.
This is sponsored by AIA.
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, I'm sure all of the Association for Chartered Certified Accountants are in jubilation today. I'll be joining them down for a drink later on. To revel in the 4% drop in revenue and that amazing return of investment. Spending 700 million quid to finish 14th. But hey ho, let's all celebrate and be happy.
It's a great day for the investment bankers, no doubt. Investment bankers will be celebrating tonight in town, having a few glasses of champers. Lee, are you going to join them in town as a finance man yourself? Are you going to be on the champagne tonight after the financial results of Spurs coming out?
4% down, Mr. Levy. You need to do better. You need to do better. Another couple of concerts, get that money back in. But hey, it's all about spending within your means and be sustainable. That's what it is to be a football club, apparently. I'll leave it there.
Sustainable FC. Exactly that. Well, look, we will discuss the accounts briefly. We'll go through it, the results. But I want to start with Chelsea because football's back. And we've got Chelsea this weekend, and I try and banter it a little bit, but I put the title of tonight's show, Chelsea away. What's the point? I think we've won once there in about 3 decades. At one point.
I'll take that.
Ellie.
I'll take that. The point.
Yeah, listen, we'll all take the point.
Never get anything there anyway. So.
The thing is, right, I was looking at it and I was saying to myself, do you know what? We never get anything there. If we get a draw, it feels like a win. We're going there. We're not playing too great. We don't know what team Ange is going to pick. We don't know what the injuries are going to look like before, during, or after. It always seems to go wrong there. Then I said, do you know what? But Chelsea are in bad form, man. Then Chelsea fans are not happy.
Don't do that.
Could we? Well, hold on. Could we maybe go and because Ange's got this knack of when you least expect it, so he does something right. But then I found out today that Madueke, Nicholas Jackson, and Palmer are all back in training and could play. So I thought, right, well, there you go. They haven't had the striker in ages. Jackson's going to be back. Cole Palmer's their main man. He'll be back. So, yeah, it's all beginning to lead to tragically, another defeat. But, I mean, look, do any of you give us a chance there? Because Chelsea aren't in good form, but nor are we. We're a joke. We're absolutely, what are we, 14th, 13th? I don't even know anymore.
I think it's very unlikely. I mean, even when Chelsea were in much worse position than they are now, we couldn't beat them. So, no is the answer to your question. Sorry.
End the show.
Do you know what? It's listen. I know we do because we'll all be watching the game, right? We probably we won't go there with any sort of great deal of confidence. But also the main reason why that is because we never know ourselves what Tottenham turns up on the day or on the night. So it's very hard to have any kind of feeling of how the game is going to go. I agree, it's not the most phenomenal Chelsea team ever. But then it's like, what do we have to counter that with? We're not being phenomenal either. So it's really tough to try. We've been in better situations, in better form, and with better teams going to Stamford Bridge against even sometimes even as favourites have gone there, and we still haven't managed a result. I still the one of the best days that I remember to date, right, guys. And I don't know what is when we went over there with, was it Pochettino when we went out and Dele Alli done a little lob. Remember that one there? That was a great day. It's probably one of the best away games that I remember going to Chelsea and getting a result. And that was a long time ago, man. The last time I felt really good after going there, and even then we weren't terribly confident going in there. So it's best to not to have the most. And listen, I can't believe I say things. It's best to go in there and no expectation. And if they do something positive, then we'll celebrate it. And that's the best way it could be. Can't go in there thinking, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, when we don't know what Spurs team will turn up on the night. We never do. How many times have you guessed, oh, this is what's going to happen, and it's actually happened?
I think
not a lot of games.
Like one of the
certain games though, we do. Like we knew we'd lose at Anfield. We knew we'd get battered there.
No, I'm talking about when we not when we're going to get battered. That's the easier. To know we're going to lose a game, that's far easier than guessing.
I think I know we're going to lose at Stamford Bridge. I kind of feel.
No, but how many times have you said, "Oh, Spurs"? I'm not talking about bottom of the league, Southampton and stuff like that. When we beat them earlier this season, I'm talking. How many games have you actually said, "You know what, we're going to win there. We're going to win there tonight. I can see it. We're going to win there."
All right. No, once I think West Ham. But yeah,
the whole
right.
season, man. You've only predicted one time. You've gone in confident that we're going to win, and we've actually got a result.
I said we'd beat that who's that team? AZ Alkmaar away, but we lost. I said.
Yeah, but I'm saying when you said when have you gone into games we're going to win, and we've actually got the result? Probably no.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Offenheimer backed us to win. That's probably the only game I thought, do you know what, we can get a result here tonight.
Yeah, we're not confident. We're not confident at all this year.
Sorry,
JP, you're going to say something. Sorry, man.
No, I was going to say, like, half the times, though, in a game like that, we tend to hang in there, do all right, and then give it away stupidly. And it's one of those games you end up afterwards going, what could have been?
It's the history of Tottenham.
Well, listen, we've turned up for other teams that have been struggling. So if Chelsea are in bad form, then Dr. Tottenham will show them the way.
Do you know what, boys? I just if you take the Man Cities to one side, the Liverpools, who are even Chelsea not too long ago, who have been a constant in winning trophies year after year after year. How great is it to see, at least as a football fan, the buzz right now that's going on at Villa, with Aston Villa, the buzz that's happening with Newcastle but even before they won that Carling Cup, there was a buzz about the place. It has been all season that they're doing something. They're laying the foundations for something big, in my opinion. Aston Villa are kind of doing the same. And that's not a team like that have not won a lot of trophies of late. Aston Villa, for me, I can see them going on to win the FA Cup. I know that Man City is still in there, and the other two teams, Forest and Palace, are good sides.
I think
But I can
Forest.
see them.
I
I
think
can
Forest,
see, but I can see Aston Villa winning. It's that kind of season that Villa could go all the way and win that trophy. And there's already, but because I can see there's a buzz, but there's something good happening there. And when something good's happening at a club, often good stuff come out of it. And Newcastle have achieved it. Aston Villa could achieve it. And I just look at them and I'm thinking, we're not asking Tottenham to be the Man Cities, the Liverpool, the Chelsea that do it year after year and they're consistently winning regularly. And up to not even longer, Arsenal were doing that as well. I'm looking at Villa and I'm looking at Newcastle. I'm thinking, why can't we do something similar like that where we create a buzz at Tottenham Hotspur, who have been traditionally a cup team? Why can't we do similar sort of thing and to regenerate that buzz that we had up until the last Poch and Redknapp before that? It's been a long time since we've experienced any of it, and if you look at how long it's been. And you look at where we are now and how long it potentially could be because of where we're currently at. It's bleak, man. It's bleak. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what
It's
you
like the
guys think
simple
of it.
answer to that is the manager's shit and the players are shit.
Yeah, but the ambition of the owners as well at Villa and Newcastle since Ashley left.
There's happy places there, isn't there? They're
Come on,
happy
man.
places. You know,
They were like that. Newcastle were like, but how quickly it turned after Ashley left and these guys came in. Look where they're at. It hasn't taken them a great deal. It's taken
Be careful
young...
what you wish for, Iggy. All right, you don't know who's going to come in.
Maybe so. But at the end of the day, the way I see it, my answer to that, Maz, is I'd rather take an unknown road that may or may not lead me somewhere than a road that I've seen many and many times, and it's only led me to one fucking place.
Good rebuttal.
And I don't know if obviously someone said that, Maz. That's probably why you're saying it. But I absolutely hate that because at the end of the day, our club motto is to dare is to do, not just be happy with what you've got.
But only 95% of teams ever win trophies. So
do you know that stat? 95%
to be happy with what you got.
No, it's 95 or 97% of teams don't win anything, and only a small percentage do. But you know the issue with that. By the way, William, thanks for your super chat and your thumping on Thursday. Hope you all got the lube. We've been lubed all season. Big up to the two Marks, Sheriff and Phil Coys for your channel memberships as well. Do you know the issue with that stat? And no one ever mentions it. And it drives me nuts. Let's say only 3% of teams, let's call it 5%. Only 5% of teams ever win a trophy. And let's say there's 100 teams, for example, from the lower leagues through the divisions to the Premier League. So there's 100 teams, for example, and only 5 of those teams ever win the trophies. Okay. Why are Spurs being compared to the 95 of teams that we are completely miles ahead of, especially 90% of those teams? Why are we being put in the same bracket as Doncaster, Bristol Rovers, Dagenham and Redbridge? To do that is the most disingenuous, misleading, fictitious creating stat to try and show the world, hey, get real, people. Only a tiny fraction of teams win trophies, but Spurs are in that tiny fraction in terms of fan base, revenue, ability to sign players, our ability to compete at that high level. What Spurs are capable of puts us in the top 3-4%. So why are we being compared to the Man Cities, the Chelseas, the Uniteds, the Liverpools, the Arsenals? And you could even add into the mix Newcastle, Villa now. Surely there's about 8 or 9 teams, if we're going to be fair, that can compete for the major trophies. Why aren't Spurs compared to them? And instead we're putting this stat of 100 clubs where, yeah, but come on, Stel, Doncaster don't win trophies. Oh, come on, Dagenham and Redbridge don't win trophies. Why are you diminishing the club to try and create a fictitious stat to try and show
Stel.
And no one challenges that.
We're in financially, we're in financially, we're in the 1% of all professional football teams worldwide, financially. So, as you said, from a infrastructure revenue ratio, then we should absolutely be winning because we're in that top 1% of clubs that can actually afford to do things. Now, the argument is, oh well, Levy has created that scenario. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's ever argued that Levy hasn't created a financially stable club. And I don't, and certainly up until late, we've been spending the money, whereas in previous seasons, pre Jose, we haven't really spent the money. But at the end of the day, what is the return of that investment? You do that to have a return of investment in trophies, right? Not just financial, because that's what the football club is about. And we don't do that. So yeah, I agree with you.
Before the Premier League began,
700 million to finish where? The 13th we are now?
See, before the Premier League began, right? I'll compare us to a big club. Arsenal are a big club. Hate them, they're a big club. Before the Premier League began in 1992, Spurs won more FA Cups than Arsenal, more League Cups than Arsenal was in the Carabao Cup, and more European trophies than Arsenal. The gap between Spurs and Arsenal wasn't massive. They'd won more league titles, but there wasn't this huge gap between the two clubs, roughly the same size stadiums. And the chasm now is huge. And the majority of that chasm grew in the 25 years under Levy. Only 7 of those years were under Sir Alan Sugar. So what's happened to Spurs is we've become this gargantuan corporate entity, this phenomenal business model that now everyone wants to copy and build stadiums that can do what ours does and draw all sorts of revenue because they've seen how Levy's done it. But on the pitch, we're an absolute disgrace under this ownership. Newcastle have overtaken us. If Aston Villa win the FA Cup, they will have won more of a prestigious trophy than Spurs in over 30 years. And Nottingham Forest, they could end up in the Champions League and FA Cup winners. Just the scenarios that are panning out this season, I don't know, man. When people come up with these stats,
but still, with
they're very misleading. It's very misleading, the stats that people cherry pick. It's cherry pick data.
But still, with the headwinds that we saw last year, with the cost of business and inflation, we should be happy that we're only 4% down in our revenues. And we should applaud it because that's what we should do.
I think the rising price of minced meat that goes into the pies that we sell in the stadium has affected our ability to compete with the other football clubs.
I think you're right.
Do you know,
I think you're right.
Joe?
In
the FA Cup, Man City aside, right? We could have another team added onto that because there's Forest, Palace, and Villa. 3 teams who haven't won a trophy in a long, long time. So if Man City go out of that cup, one of those clubs can join the likes of Newcastle, who freshly won the Carabao Cup. So what I'm saying is there's something moving outside of just the favourites that win year in, year out, the Man Cities and Liverpool and something like that. So there are teams who have shown ambition in the Villas and like I said, Newcastle. But like Palace and Nottingham Forest, rightly so, man. I don't want to be like counting them out. They find themselves in a semi-final they're playing at Wembley already in the semi-final, and they could go there again in the final and potentially win it. Why not? Once you're in the final, man, anything goes. Anything happens. Look, it happened for Wigan many years ago against a really good Man City side. So once you're there, it's up for grabs, and it's great for football. But then from a Tottenham Hotspur fan looking in, you're like, mate, it's like everything seems to be moving on and kicking on, and things are happening for other clubs outside the favourites that win every year, and we couldn't be further apart from even those outsiders that are currently challenging for top domestic honours, man, because as people may shit on Carling Cups and the FA Cups, but they are domestic trophies in this country. And they should have their respect, man, because at the end of the day, if it comes to winning one and winning nothing, you'd always choose the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. And so for me, it's great. Like I said, great for football to see it this season, but from Spurs' perspective, it's
But
it's
Iggy, aren't you
difficult.
happy that we're a financially stable and sustainable club, even though our debt has actually gone up from last year by 100 odd
Like
million?
you wouldn't
Yeah,
believe. But
how's that
at the
work?
end of the day, man,
How does that actually work?
it's the opinion. It's the opinion. What you guys are discussing. It's the opinion of one person. The same way we've got opinions. I've got an opinion. Some people may disagree with it. Some people agree with it. I don't. I don't have to agree or disagree. Everyone has their own opinion and entitled to it. And
Iggy, you know when people say,
One
but look what
person's
Levy's
opinion
done for
is a lot of people's opinion.
you know when people say, like, look what Levy's done for the club, look at what he's done, right? When you actually look at it, other than that stadium that has actually taken us backwards from when it opened and Poch was manager, we've gone backwards. When you look at what he's done,
are you talking about on field,
anything like, look, when you're building a new academy and a new training centre, you expect to have better resources to develop young talent that will be seen in the first team and become the future stars. The training ground should attract better players and better facilities to develop the players and create winning teams. But look, part of Levy's infrastructure was he built this. This is part of the training ground at Hotspur Way. But, you know, if you look at, and I don't want to disrespect these clubs, but they're smaller than Spurs. Leicester City have built a state-of-the-art brand new training facility. It's incredible. Bournemouth have just opened up their one.
Hold on. Did Leicester take over the Teletubbies set?
It's part of the estate design to integrate it into
Mate, these training
landscape.
facilities are phenomenal, man. Absolute phenomenal.
Yeah, but all of this stuff,
This is what I'm saying. Liverpool have got a new one.
Yeah, but look.
Yeah,
There's no denying. Look, Stel, there's no denying, right, that Daniel Levy, right, has led the way in terms of where modern day sports entertainment businesses have gone, right? He's looked at what they're doing in America. He's looked at what's happening around Europe, right? And he's always had a vision to build Levy land and make different revenues and stuff like that. That's what business people do, right? That's what good business
copy
people
and paste,
do, right?
copy and paste.
No
That's
one,
successful, of course.
yeah, no one is saying that Daniel Levy isn't a good businessman. Is he a phenomenal businessman? Absolutely not. I don't think he's a phenomenal businessman, because when you look at how the football side of the operation has operated and what he's done within that space in terms of signing players, selling players, the salaries he pays to the players we've lost, the reputation he's damaged, the caliber of managers that have come and gone through the door, right? Where we are now over that period of time, it's been awful, because you can quite easily say that had Tottenham Hotspur from a footballing operations perspective been more successful, he would have made a lot more money. But what's actually happened is he's great. He's used Tottenham Hotspur as an investment vehicle, saddled us with a lot of debt. Fine, it's structured debt over a long period of time, right? And everyone's saying, oh, look how amazing it is. Well, a lot of other people have done that. A lot of businesses do that all the time, right?
Yeah.
I can take on debt and start expanding my business and creating a wonderful facility, right? But the problem with doing that is you have to have a sustainable revenue and income stream to manage the debt, right? And at the moment, apart from 1 year in 2019, we've been making losses every year. Now, fine, he might be writing down some of the assets, right? But he's in a precarious position now where he has to sustain that revenue by getting Champions League football, by being successful, right? Otherwise, the people that have lent him the money will start saying, hold on a minute, that wasn't part of your plan. Can you afford to keep up with the repayments? Can you afford to service your debts? Now, he may be able to do that. But the problem is, as a football club and as football fans, we're going to see as we have seen, a lack of quality on the footballing side, lack of players coming through. Now, there was another gentleman who said, "Oh, I predict that we're going to sign a record transfer fee player for Tottenham Hotspur." Okay, so he goes and signs a player for 66 million instead of 65 million. That won't stop him from going and buying a shit player. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at all of the money that he's spent since 2019, 700 million, has that 700 million been well spent? No, it hasn't been well spent. I could argue he's a bad businessman because he's borrowed 700 million pounds, indebted us to buy shit players. That's not a good businessman. In any other business, if a CEO done that, they'll kick him out of the board. Now, he's lucky. He's part owner of Tottenham Hotspur, right? And the main owner of the club backs him to run the club because they're just trying to increase the value of the actual asset as opposed to anything else at Spurs. But what do we want? We want sustained success on the pitch. We want to finish high up on the table. We want to win trophies. That's what we want as fans. I couldn't give a monkeys if we're 4%
I'd even
down.
take challenging for trophies.
But that
Exactly.
also brings additional revenue, though, man.
What you do.
Surely.
The thing is, yeah, I keep banging on about this, but Newcastle and Aston Villa, what changed for them to be where they are now? What foundations are laid? What changed? Fundamentally, the owners changed, right? At Newcastle, it changed at Aston Villa, where things have gotten stale there, and these guys have come in. So, what I'm saying, that the tone was set by those very owners. It might have taken them a few years to get it going. The sale of Jack Grealish started a lot of that stuff, I have to say. They were able to bring players, bring in an experienced coach in Emery, and so forth. And at Newcastle, same thing. With Harry, he'd done a really good job at Bournemouth. Went on to Newcastle. Same thing with the owners come in, and all of a sudden there's a buzz about the place. So it doesn't take long. It's not a long process to get to a point where you're at least competing, and that's we've ever asked for. We've never there's never been a demand at Tottenham where we expect a trophy every season at Spurs. No one's ever said that. But what we want to see is a team that come March are not out of everything. I know we're in the Europa Cup, but in terms of the league, 15, 16 losses, and it's an up and down yo-yo. The level of injuries, the incompetence of the medical department, which is something that Conte criticised in the past. Romero did it recently as well. So it's just that there's a level of incompetency in the football side of things, which makes very difficult viewings for us as fans. And much can be said about what we've created in terms of the new stadium and the new infrastructure and all of that, and that side of things continue to grow in that sense. But in terms of the football, which is what we fundamentally care about, you can talk to me about finances and stuff like that.
You look at this.
Yeah, it's all important. It's great, but
look at this.
Yeah. Listen, I see those things, and we're not. It's
Arsenal,
tough,
Leicester, Chelsea, West Ham, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Newcastle. All of those clubs have won more than Spurs in the last 2 decades.
Do you know what? I forgot about West Ham. I didn't mention them because West Ham won the Conference League.
They won that European Conference
So what
League.
I'm saying is there is exciting stuff happening outside of the regular winners like the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Man City.
You know what they all have in common? Guys, you know what all these clubs have got in common?
They've won trophies, man.
Yeah, but you know what they've all got in common other than winning a trophy? With the exception of Man United, all of those clubs and Man City, all of those clubs in the last 10, 15 years had new owners. Kroenke's been there 6 years. The Leicester guy came in and within 7 years, they won the Premier League and the FA Cup. Chelsea have now got new owners. West Ham, they've got new owners. Liverpool, under the FSG group, they won everything. Man United, okay, Glazer's been there quite a long time. Newcastle, how long's their owners been there? 3 years? So, when people say to me, oh, yeah, but, be careful what you wish for. But all those clubs changed owners and they're winning trophies. Nottingham Forest.
Scared of new beginnings, man. Don't ever.
Don't you think it's funny the way that people say, "Oh, we're you know everything is business. We're a business. We're an entity. We're a company." Yeah, companies take risks. So why can't we? So why can't why have we not got a risk appetite to change owners?
To dare us to do.
No, but do you get my point?
100%.
On one hand, they're saying we're a company, right? Yeah, and companies take risks. That's what they do all the time. It's the nature of business. On the other hand, they're saying, "Oh no, don't take the risk because you don't know what's going to happen."
I don't get it. All I ever hear is excuse. Go on, Lee.
I was just going to say, I watched something quite interesting yesterday that generalises the state of football and the divide between the north and the south. And it came from the most unlikely source, which was I was watching something to do with Colin Montgomery playing golf. And this was literally only a week or two ago. And basically, he's a long life Leeds fan. He's been a Leeds fan for like 55 years. And he had a very interesting take on the way that football is going and how the south and the north are progressing at different speeds, if you like. Let's put it down as speed. So basically, football in the north is still a middle-class working man's sport, right? The passion and the heart of it is still there in the north, where in the south, not everywhere in the south, probably more in London more than anything, it's become more of an entertainment and a showcase sport where that middle-class working man passion is almost being pushed out or even priced out of the equation. And I'd never thought about it like this before. And I thought about it and I was thinking, do you know what? He's right. I've got a lot of people up, that I know from up north, sort of Durham way, Newcastle and stuff like that. And as I said, I think, say to you guys, if any of this was happening at their clubs, there'd be absolute uproar. It wouldn't be like it is now, accepting this mediocrity for 20 years. It just wouldn't happen. And I think that's what it comes down to. And we are seeing a chairman who's running a sustainable business that ultimately wants out, and to do that needs a profitable club. And by dumping money excessively into, the on-field team without being able to recoup those costs is not something in his vision or in his plan. So he's trying to do it the smart way. And I would even say the more risky way, by doing what we've done last year, like buying young players at slightly cheaper prices on the basis that they're going to come good. Whereas you see the ratio of that actually happens is really low. So I think he's taking risks, but he's taking risks in the wrong fashion. He's taking risks by spending money on youngsters, hoping they come good, and then making a profit out of them. Because ultimately, none of these kids are going to stay around for the love of the badge or the love of Tottenham, right? They're going to go wherever the money takes them. If someone else comes calling, it's a bigger club, they'll go. It's as simple as that. And I think the issue that we've also got is that years and years of chipping away at our, top six or big club sort of persona is making it harder and harder for us to attract or even keep talent. I mean, I think it started with Bale, when he ultimately left. There's no way that we were going to give up 90 million euros, whatever it was for him. Whereas other clubs will do their hardest to keep these type of players, but it was never going to be the case, was it? And I think we're slowly seeing that. And I think now it's, every summer transfer window we get all these names thrown about, and they are just thrown about by people on YouTube and that, just to get clicks and likes, because the likelihood of these players coming to us now, based on our name and our reputation, is completely shattered. Absolutely shattered. And I'll stop there.
Same goes for the managers, though, Lee. Right? It's not only like
that is the most. I'll tell you what, the Spurs manager's job right now has got to be the most toxic job for anyone who's worth their salt as a manager.
Yeah, but see, I blame the fans, a lot of fans, for this now. I don't blame the fans for the mess we're in. I blame the fans for allowing the mess to continue, because at the end of the day, listen, we're going to get onto it. There's a protest this Sunday, if anyone didn't know, I think it's going to be bigger than the one before. We'll see what happens and we'll see what comes of it. But for me, Lee, I said it so many times. I think I was the first to say it when I was on social media before I deleted everything. And I said, the fans are to blame. If you don't take action, if you don't make your voices heard, and we don't start doing something about it, these owners are going to run riot. And unfortunately, we've got too many fans that accept it. You know, it's great we had 2,000 fans go to the protest, the last one. That was fantastic. But that's not even 2%. Well, 62,000 fans turn up on a match day. 62,000 fans.
It's 3% still. About 3%. Right?
62,000 fans up on a match day and 3% are at the protest. So what does that say about the other fans that go to match day? They're not interested. So I think
the grow now. I would like to think that the next one grows now, and then
it will grow.
After that will grow again, because it can't continue.
Well, we know that, but you've got a lot of fans. Whether we like it or not, I'll come to you next, Ian, because I think you've got plenty to say on this. By the way, welcome. Big up to Lubo.
Lubo.
The thing is, this will only grow, man. The fact that they've had that many 2,000, this can only grow. Maybe some people didn't want to take that first step, but now that the first step has been taken,
we've seen people.
You know, in mass, I'm talking about.
Well,
2,000 is a big number, man.
The accounts coming out today showing that we're in more debt. Levy with his bollocks of look how much money we've spent. Yeah, look how much money you've wasted. And if we lose to Chelsea as well, that will all compound. And yeah, more people will go to the protest. There's no doubt, because the news coming out of the club isn't great. And it will just G up fans to say, do you know what? I am going to protest. But the reality is this. Whilst we've got fans who are fixated on money, finances, architecture, whilst we've got fans fixated on Man City financial dope, so screw everyone else, what chances have we got? Whilst we have fans who fixate on business, not football, this is the problem we've got. And listen, there's a lot, but don't underestimate how many fans out there really look at Levy and say, what a great job he's done. You forget where we were in the 90s. Everything they say, we can counter, right? We can counter everything they say. But the issue is, for a lot of fans, they are genuinely okay with this. Not happy, but they're okay. And it's how do you shift them from being okay with not accepting it anymore? And look, Ian, I'll come on to you on this one, because the entire comments tonight said you had an interesting debate earlier on, so you can tell us more about it. Apparently, they want a statue of you at the stadium after tonight.
Easy.
What did I miss? I feel like I missed out now.
A statue of Lubo outside the West.
There was a small difference of opinion between me and Sean.
But then, you know what? Difference of opinion is good.
Do you know what? Listen, it's passionate. It's how football fans should be. I looked at those scenes in Newcastle on Saturday. Just amazing. What
envious, eh?
Fantastic fan base. And that's what football is. Football is about feeling. It's about emotion. It's about moments. It's not about balance sheets. Balance sheets are important, but up to a point. It can't be the only thing that's important, and that's the problem with Levy. Is it is
to a football fan, Lubo. More importantly, not to a football fan. It's not going to be the most important. We accept that it's important, but it's not the most important. And the fact that I said, sorry to interrupt, by the way. What I just wanted to say is, for the fact that you rightly say Newcastle, but there's 3 other semi-finalists in the FA Cup that could potentially be winners for the first time of that cup in a long, long time.
Fantastic.
And City aside, you know, we could have. But this is a year that wakens up and freshens up people's eyes. You know, we've seen Newcastle. We could see a new FA Cup winners here.
That's right.
In Palace, in Forest, in Aston Villa. You know, this is the year that might trigger people to say, you know what? Why can't my team?
It's great for football.
Of course it is. Absolutely.
I remember going through from 2000 onwards for many years through that decade. It was Arsenal, Liverpool, United, and Chelsea in the Champions League. That was it. It was the same 4 teams every single season, and it was just boring. You know, why can't other clubs get in there? And those 4 held a monopoly for Champions League places.
Mhm.
So, you know.
Jay, I never said 2 years. I said if he wins something, I'll be okay if he had another year to see what he can do. But
for anyone that is listening and not watching, we've got a super chat from Jay who said, Maz, you said if Ange wins the Carabao Cup, you'd be happy to give him another 2 years. This has shocked me. Do you still stick by that? Jay, we didn't win the Carabao Cup, though. It's a bit irrelevant, isn't it? I'm just.
Well, let's change it for argument's sake. If we won the Europa Cup,
yeah, we discussed this. I know we were joking a lot on the last show when we were taking the mick out of Stel. But if you win something, then fine. You can have another year. I mean,
listen, if you win, you're right.
Hold on a minute. I got bantered for 30 minutes last week because I said if we win the Europa, I'm going to give Ange a whole year and get off his back. All of you argued with me. The comments shut on me. And now you come on a week later and say, well, yeah. You know.
No.
I want an apology.
No. Shut up, man. Apology. Listen, bottom line is this. The person or the team that wins shuts everyone up. If Ange wins the Europa Cup, first of all, as fans, we're all happy anyway. Even the most critical ones would be happy, and he'd be saying, "Look, mud on your face," and we accept that, man. I don't mind being thrown mud if Spurs win a trophy and bring it back, bring it to White Hart Lane. I'll take the mud. No problem with that. But win something and mud me with that. I don't mind that at all.
Look, because we can win something. Look, if we win something, I'll give him another year. But that doesn't mean he's a good manager. It doesn't mean I still want him at Spurs. But if he got another year for winning something,
you've got no argument. You've got he'd be saying, you know what?
I would shake his hand and say thank you very much.
It's the same. It's like people cite the Ten Hag argument. Oh well, if you win something, you'll be stuck with him. He deserved to stay in the job because he did win something. And then he did bad and then they sacked him. That's it. End of story.
I think if you look at it logically, I think if you win a trophy, then the guy deserves to carry on. Would it be good for the club long term if Ange carries on?
No.
Or even for next year? The answer is no. Because there are so many reasons why he is just unsuitable to be he's just not good enough to be manager at our club. There are so many reasons. We'll see this chaos more and more. If he manages to get through 5 games and win the Europa League, then fantastic. They've done well, full marks to him. He's won a trophy in his second year again. So full marks to the guy.
We went a little bit off. We went a little bit off piece because I interjected and I kind of put you off, threw you off of what we were saying. What big jewel did I miss earlier? I'm assuming it's to do with trophies and finance, of course.
It was. No, watch it when Saba puts it out on.
Fair enough.
On Viewback.
That's fair. All
right. Ian, let me ask you a question on this, right? Look, we know Sean Butler's take on it. He's very pro-business finance. He looks at things from the financial perspective. That's his
opinion. That's fine.
Yeah, he's allowed to. Let me finish what I'm saying. He's allowed to have that view. There's quite a few fans like that. Sean isn't the only one. He just happens to have a YouTube channel that talks about it a lot more. My question is this: how have we got to a stage where, as a football club, we are more consumed by finances and accounts and business activities rather than the decisions made by the owners that directly impact the failures on the football pitch? And it is failure if you're a big club and you continually fail for over 3 decades. Have we got to a place where fans are more consumed by the finances than the football?
Because we can't boast about trophies, so we might as well boast about finances.
I don't think those people.
Is this engineered by the club? Do you think the club have engineered fans in this way?
Yeah, it's just occurred to me still. It's like when the government says, "Oh, this year we've got a balanced budget," right?
Black hole.
Right? Yeah, right.
Black
This
hole.
year we've got a balanced budget, but when you look at the actual debt, it's like £2 trillion type thing. But it's okay. We balanced the budget for this year, guys. Everything's fine.
How have we got to that stage, though?
I seriously don't think that those people have experienced that winning with their football club. I don't think they've had that. I don't think they've had that dopamine. It's like a dopamine hit, right? Once you've had it, you want it again. If you've never had it yet, you yearn it, but you make excuses for why you're not going to get it.
Do you know how many teenagers go to school and get absolutely bantered year on, year out because they're Spurs fans and they win nothing? Do you know how many kids are growing up getting absolutely ridiculed at school?
That's why they all join. That's why they all join the ACCA.
My youngest is a Spurs fan. Okay, but every year that passes, I see it becomes more disinterested. Not in football, he becomes more disinterested in following Spurs. I see it. And year by year, he's getting older, so his interest should actually become even more. But he is becoming less interested. I see him a lot of the games when we watch the football together on the telly or wherever. He's more on his phone than he is in, and not because he doesn't like football. It's because he's not. It doesn't. There's no gravity. There's no.
I'm like that. No, I'm exactly the same.
He's disinterested in seeing was. He's like, you know what he says to me, and it's like I've seen this game before. I've seen this match before. I've seen these goals conceded before. I've seen this. I've seen every year. It's the same sort of thing, you know. Out of the cups and then losing again. He's what, 15 now, so it becomes. He never says to me, "Dad, I really fancy going to the stadium to go and watch Spurs live." I don't see him. It's becoming less disinterested because we have given him from a footballing fan. He's not going to be interested in the finances and stuff like that. Of course, he bloody isn't. But in terms of the football, it's very difficult when he doesn't remember seeing Spurs. He's 15 years old. He wouldn't remember the last time he saw Spurs win because he hasn't seen them win. It's 2008, the last trophy we won, and he wasn't alive. So it's very difficult and that's going to be that if we don't change that, guys, it's going to be like I don't know who wakes up today unless someone's got a dad or a mum or an uncle, or a granddad or a grandma that supported Spurs and passes that on. No one wakes up today and says, "I want to break away from my Man United family and I want to be a Spurs fan." No one's going to do that. No one. So unless it's been passed on by somebody that's already a Spurs fan in your family, you don't wake up and say, I don't want to support the team that everyone else supports. I want to support Spurs. Who does that?
Do you know when I was growing up?
Iggy, hold on. I've had twice in the last 2 weeks where I've had an Amazon driver and I think it's DPD was the other one driver. I've opened the door to them. They've seen that I'm wearing my Tottenham tracksuit bottoms, and both of us said, just looked and went, "Oh, I'm sorry." That was it, and I went, "Yeah, me too," and that was it. We just laughed and it went off.
It's we laugh and we joke because what are the alternatives really? But it's the reality. It's the reality. Whoever says who team just support Spurs, the reaction tells you everything. It's like, fucking hell. The
thing is, right, if we go back 5 years, 4 years, that kind of, and maybe 10 years before that, in fact, let's go from 2010 to 2021. I got the living daylights cussed out of me by my mates, constantly cussed out of me by all my Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool,
deservedly so.
mates. And then when I started a YouTube channel, I got it even more because now my mate watches you lot. Blah, blah. Now, the last year or two, no one cusses me. You know that I don't get cussed.
I don't know about that one.
Iggy, I know you're trying to banter it, but hear me out. This is true. I'm talking about football.
They're in the pity phase.
I'm talking about football. Well, this is it, Maz. Now, this is what I get. How do you do it? How do you actually watch that? Like, honestly, like, mate, are you like, how do you guys, how do you lot put up with it? Like, do you know what? I actually feel sorry for you idiots. You. What the fuck what do you even support? They say to me, and do you know what? I feel like they want to cry for me because I don't cry. I'm just numb. I'm just dead.
It's true. We've gone from being bantered to actual
pity.
Actual pity. Actual.
But you know what the funny thing is?
Can't even ban you anymore with that bad.
It's not even Arsenal fans, United.
I think there's something wrong with me for still watching the team. Like, why do you watch it?
It's not even Arsenal. Lee, it's not even Arsenal fans anymore. Chelsea.
Oh no, it's all of them. All of them.
West Ham just won the
Leicester
trophy.
fans.
They're now.
Fans.
We are just the joke. It's the joke. Even the bottom of the league teams. You got Jamie Vardy coming to our stadium going 1-0. You know, pointing to the Premier League going 1-0.
It's a disgrace.
It's this constant. Like there isn't a club or player that represents any of the teams from top to bottom that don't come to our lane or the fans or whoever it is. I'm not talking about the players and even fans. There's always if you have to cuss, you know, if you have to pick on anyone, it'll be Tottenham. Will be the one. It'll be the one to go to because they're an easy target. They're an easy target. It's like that kid that gets bullied in the playground. We're that.
All my Arsenal mates, right? All my Arsenal mates, they all say to me, "You got to get him out. You got to get that owner out. Like if you got to get."
I know.
And I say, I know. Tell that to my fans. Tell that to my club. Like
that is true. Still, like when my friends talk to me about Tottenham, and I say, "Oh, it's Daniel Levy." They all agree. They said, "Yeah, he's absolutely ruined your club." They can see it. They can see it. It's not even about banter anymore. They can see that he's made us uncompetitive.
Everyone can see it, Maz, except for half our fans.
Do you know what? When you know
They're
sometimes
I think they want to find an excuse, right?
Maybe we should become chartered accountants too, and we'll be all right.
You know, even on Sky Sports, when you get the ex-players like Redknapp and Carragher and Neville and all them boys there.
Carragher's called out Levy for the last 5-6 years, and he's got it right.
Neville now gets it. Gary Neville now gets it. For a long time, he used to be pro. He gets it now. Redknapp as well.
They all get it. They all get it.
Everyone knows, man.
I'm disappointed with some of our.
Well, it's only the ambassadors that are out.
Yeah, I am disappointed with that because
they get paid
rehashing it all again. You know, they should love the club more than what they're doing. Look, I don't know their personal. Yeah, well, I don't know their personal.
At the end of the day, but I'm telling you now, those same ambassadors that we are talking about, those very players on a night out or on a greet and meet or whatever you call them, then evenings and all that. They tell you the truth off camera.
Yeah, but that makes it worse, Iggy.
I'm telling you, but that's why I can confidently tell you here, right here now.
I know they do.
It's because they're earning.
I know. I used to speak to them all the time when I was
in the boxing. That's
stuff.
why they won't say it. They won't come out and say it. But
I know, but it gets to the point whereby if they love the club, then they need to do what's right. That's what I believe.
Man's got to get paid. You've got to pay bills at the end of the month, mate.
Talking about bills and paid, I want to have a quick look at the accounts. We do need to discuss it because they were released today. But before we go there, I've got a quick gag I want to share with you. Okay, what is this?
A Daniel Levy burger.
Hey, it's a Levy burger.
Shocking, mate. That is shocking.
Because we're 4% down, we don't get any.
Let's start doing what Man United. We're going to start doing what Man United did at their club.
Regime, right? It's a new healthy regime, and everyone needs to get on it because it adds value.
We don't even get butter.
Maz, start doing what they did at Man United. Start stripping away.
No butter and not toasted. Just
shut the canteens and
only the top 3%, Maz, have burgers in them. Only the top 3% shots.
Next year, we won't have any sesames on there either. Any sesame seeds will just be plain bud because that will. So
Do what United did. Do what United did, and just start shutting the canteens down and stop feeding everyone.
Look at Ryan McKenna. It's a trophy. Oh,
And,
That's brilliant.
and we are
Quality
TV.
comment, Ryan.
It's a Bluetooth burger.
yeah, Bluetooth burger, the Levy special. The accounts. So, let's begin with revenue is down to 528 million from last year's 449. So that's about 20 million down.
4%.
Overall profit has increased to 144 million, which is before tax and interest and whatnot. It's up by about 7 million, and the losses have decreased. So we made another loss of 26 million, but last year the losses were 86 million. So losses aren't as bad, but we've still made a loss. Profit has increased and revenue has gone down. And the reason we've brought in less money, but we've made more profit, is because of the wage bill, which we stripped back on, and because we've increased the debt, which we'll get into. So let's have a quick look at the notes. Guys, if it's too small for the screen, sorry, I'll just quickly read it to you. Receipts, so match day earnings have gone down. It's because we're playing less home games than the year before. By the way, this isn't for this season. These accounts for last season. Prize money from European football, that is down by 55 million because we're not in the Champions League anymore. TV and media revenue is up by around about 17 million. Commercial revenues, and by the way, I thought commercial revenues include match day revenue. It does not. Commercial revenues are from other income, sponsorship, merchandise, and third-party events such as the Beyonce concerts, the boxing, the Formula One, visitor attractions, pre-season tours. That has increased to 255 million, which means our commercial revenues are now higher than what our TV media what our TV media revenue is and what the match day receipts are. So it's our number one source of income now. Operating expenses have gone down, partially due to fewer football matches, meaning less cost to run the stadium. So look, the big one is our debt's gone up by 100 million. And I want to ask you guys why that is. I tried to understand why, but from what I understood, it's because our revenues are down, the debt went up. Does that mean they've borrowed more money to run the club because there's not as much revenue coming in? I don't know. I need to look into it because all we've got is a snapshot. But overall, revenue's down, but profit is up. So less money's coming in, but we're recording more.
More in his pocket.
We still made a loss. We still made a loss. So
couldn't the debt figure simply be going up because we sign more players and we don't? And you're putting the payments of those players, however how many years it is adding to the debt because it's outstanding that you haven't paid yet.
Yeah, absolutely possible. But we need to break down. The debt's gone up by £100 million. So we've spent £100 million. That means money we owe. So we owe an extra. So what you've got,
Solanke, Gray.
No, that's this year.
Yeah, those accounts for the year before.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because it was after the summer, wasn't it?
Charlton and stuff, right?
It's the year we spent 200 million on Ange that first season.
Right. Okay. So you got 200 million.
Brennan Johnson.
I'm assuming that's where it's coming from because that's the only way you can add debt if you're not.
And you got 107 million, I think, from Kane, Winks, and Sanchez. So
and then you spent 200 million, so that's 100 million difference. So that's 100 million extra debt.
But what I don't understand is that's if there's no biting into the debt that we've already got, because they're paying off interest on the loan for the club, for the grounds. They're paying amortization. They would have paid another 60 million, I think, because it was 300 over 5 years, I think, give or take. So that should have been down to 240 plus whatever else, plus whatever we spent over, net spend. So I don't quite understand. That's based on us not having paid anything off.
See,
Or
this is when you need Sean.
Sorry, just having paid interest, should I say, and leaving the debt as it is. So I don't understand those figures. They should be less. There shouldn't have been £100 million increase in the debt.
Can I just quickly say, Alex, and to anyone else that's got this question, forget this season. The accounts that have come out are for last year. When your financial year ends, you've got 9 months after to submit your accounts. So go back 9 months, which is roughly what, maybe January. This probably goes up to the end of January last year. So just think of it as last season, not this season.
Which is up to the end of June.
It's June, isn't it? Yeah.
Up to the end of June 2024.
Oh, so 9 months from there. So beg your pardon. Yes, 9 months from there.
April to June. April 23 to June 24.
July the 1st to June. July the 1st, 23 to June 30, 24.
Right.
Okay.
So the 23-24 season, basically.
Yeah, if we just say these accounts that have come out today represent last season. That's why there's fewer games, because we weren't in Europe last season. So when it says less games, we weren't in Europe. But that debt going up, listen, I couldn't care less. It's not my business. It doesn't impact my life. But that does hinder us in terms of what we can do next season if we don't get into Europe. If we don't get into Europe, there's a strong chance they're going to have to tighten the belt even more than what they did this year.
Yeah, and that's what he's effectively said in his statement, right? Because they need to be able to service the debt.
And also, we need to do everything in our power to get behind and win the Europa League, because then we get into the Champions League. It's exactly what he said, and that's probably why you're seeing, players not playing in the Premier League games, right? He's got a mission for Ange. You've got to, at all costs, win that Europa League.
So how weird is that compared to Jose, right?
Remember, prioritise the league, because I don't care about the cup final. We need to beat Southampton on Tuesday night for the 4th spot.
Yeah. Still, Max's comment that you just had up, just going off the screen now. The difference, I think, if Spurs win the Europa League, I think we'll win the best part of 30 million. If you win the Champions League, it's something like 100 million more.
$6, yeah.
So there's your difference.
Ian, it's much more than that, because the year we got to the final, whole campaign, we earned 120 million. So if we won it, I think it's about 150 mil all in.
It's not. The profit, the year we got to the final, the yearly profit was 138 million. Which was the highest.
Ian, I'm talking about all the games getting there, plus the prize money at the end. The whole thing, what it's worth.
No, it's gone up since then. Still, it's gone up. It's about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got 120 million just getting to the final. So if you win it, it's about 150 mil.
Yeah. So it's just an enormous gulf between, in terms of profit, in terms of making money, between the Europa. We've made, I think I read we've made 11.75 million so far by getting to the quarterfinals. So,
according to the results published by Tottenham in 2019, we made £68.6 million profit. The year after, we made a 63.9 million loss. In 21, an 83.3 million pound loss.
That was COVID, wasn't it? COVID years.
50.1, and in 23, an 86.8 million pound loss.
How can we keep making a loss every single year?
Because you can write down the debt on your assets. So
you can carry the losses for across for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
If we've had an operating profit of 144 million, and we're showing a 26 million pounds loss this year, so if someone can, because I'm not an accountant, just looking at it logically, unless I've got it completely wrong, they've written down 170 million.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the account, so I don't know what they owe, what they're paying back to
Yeah.
make that loss. So.
See, what's happened is they've looked at last year's figures, the fact that the debt's gone up, and the fact that they've made it, that the revenue's gone down, and they've looked at it and said, right, we must strip back the wages this year, otherwise the following set of accounts are going to be a disaster. And obviously, you've got FFP rules you've got to follow, PSR rules to follow. So this year, what you've seen is a consequence of the results we've just seen now.
Yeah, we also spent money as well, right? So yes, we've made an operating profit, but you've also spent money, right, which will balance out and show that loss in, right? Because we spend money on buying players and paying back year on year.
We're gonna have to, if we don't get Europe next season, we're gonna have to sell players this summer, aren't we? We're gonna have to sell players for some half-decent money.
Well, you,
Anyway,
that's
this
the
is
case.
won't he?
you know what? Can I just end on this, right? Regardless of what the micro is on the accounts in terms of how they're moving the figures around and displaying the figures on, once they file their submissions, ultimately the debt is going up, right? And when you look at the league table of clubs that owe debt, number 1 is Everton, right? And number 2 is Tottenham Hotspur, and number 3 is Man United, right? So fine, we've built a stadium, we've got infrastructure, we're stable in the sense that we've got a long-term repayment plan in place, but we're hemorrhaging money still. And Daniel Levy, if he's this great businessman and he's telling us, look, we can't afford to box with the big boys because we don't have enough money, then we don't. And that means that he's not a very good businessman, because I thought he was the best businessman. So on that logic, then yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, Maz. And this is what I said last week. If Ange goes, he's completely screwed it for the next manager that comes in.
Yeah.
Because if we don't get into the Champions League and we can't rely on those money coming in to buy players, the next manager is going to be potentially stuck with very small, slim pickings for when it comes to buying players in the summer for whatever they want to do. And also, you are not going to get Levy turning down 80 million for Romero. Even stupidly, I know that we don't want this to happen. Can you imagine if someone comes in and says, is 60 million for Van der Ven? If it's that bad, then they're going to go, you're all right, have it, take it, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing being able to leverage more debt, right, and spend money, but there's another thing in terms of the club taking that risk, having that risk appetite to actually spend the money and do it. And I don't think they're willing to do it, which is why Levy gave out that statement the way he did.
Appreciates the value of the club overall.
What was Levy's statement? Have you got a link to it, Merce, so I can bring it up on the screen? I haven't seen it.
It's on the thing.
Does anyone have a link to Levy's statement?
So,
if you put it in the private chat, then I can bring it up on the screen.
That's what's going to happen. You know that, don't you? Oh, we need to sell to buy this summer.
See, overall though, do you know what I don't like about this? We're talking about the finances. Who cares, man? Like, why do we even care?
I don't care about it. I don't care.
All football clubs do this now. We've been. Someone put in the chat earlier on. Look, 20 years ago, we didn't talk about finances. 20 years ago, no. Why do we talk about it now? Why are we so obsessed with it?
Just
because we're not successful. But ultimately, let's not talk about the books and stuff, because it's a bit pointless. As I said, our debt is increasing. We don't have the buying power that we should have, right? That's that. Ultimately, for me, he spent £700 million over 4 managers, and look at the team he's left us with.
That's the problem, Maz. That is the
problem, right? That is the problem.
You've got to look at it, and you've got to think 1 in every 3 has probably been successful, has come off. When you work it out.
Joke. 700 million.
They've probably thrown away 2/3 of that money. I think that's over 12 transfer windows, guys. That's 6 years since Madrid, which is 19, 20, 21, 20, which is 12 windows. So we're averaging about 115 million per year. Just over. That's what they're spending.
Shut that door.
So there you go.
There's something down there. Do 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 do.
And do you know what? Ange has spent half that money.
What end on Billy's
down to Ange, and the other half is down to Conte, Jose, Nuno.
It's just shocking, isn't it? It's just shocking.
But it's outside at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's awful. And that's your problem. Jose and Conte were not backed. You know, Jose wanted Skriniar, I think, and got rode on.
All right, so I'll quickly read what Levy said. I'll just read the key bit. So Levy pretty much says we've got to do everything we can to support the team in the Europa Cup because it means that we can win a trophy and get the Champions League. Then he goes on to say, since opening our new stadium in April 2019, we've invested over £700 million net. So that's after sales in player acquisitions. Recruitment remains a key focus. We must ensure that we make smart purchases within our financial means. I often read calls for us to spend more, given that we are ranked as the 9th richest club in the world. However, a closer examination of today's financial figures reveals that such spending must be sustainable in the long term and within our revenues. And then he ends up by saying, our ability to generate revenues determines our spending power. We cannot spend what we do not have, and we will not compromise the financial stability of this club. Our off-pitch revenues have significantly supplemented the lower football revenues this year, testament to our diversified income strategy. So basically what he's saying is we've got to win the Europa Cup. He said that we've spent a lot of money. The focus is on smart purchases. Do we do that? He then talks about sustainability, his favorite word. And he also talks a little bit about that we would not have been able to invest the way we do now if it wasn't for our different income streams, which is pretty much what he spouts most years now, isn't it?
I mean, there's not much. There's not much. Yeah, there's not much what he said that isn't true. But it always comes down to how he spent the money and the mix. When I say the mix in terms of, right, do you reduce the wages of certain players, and when the players you buy, do you increase their wages and you balance the books that way? But we don't do that. You know, and I'll give you an example. Werner is 165 grand a week. He's hardly played this season. So that whole season, I don't know what it works out to for the whole season. What is it? 10 million or 60 million pound fee?
It's about 12 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That could have gone towards getting in a better caliber of player, but not having him there, maybe utilizing another part of the squad, because he's hardly played. And when he has played, he's been so atrocious that sticking in a kid probably would have been better. Again, why did they go and buy Kingsky? Money wasted, right? You had good young keepers in the squad that looked just as good as him. You didn't need to go and buy this young kid. Now, their argument will be, yeah, but he's an up-and-coming prospect. We see big things for him in the future. But there's nothing to say that there isn't big things for our existing goalkeepers in the squad if you give them a chance. Why go and spend that money on Matthias Tell? An absolute waste of money. An absolute waste of money. The guy does not look good, right? And fine, he's 19, and you know you'd be taking a gamble on him for the future, but that gamble comes at a 50-60 million pound price tag supposedly.
Maz, I'm telling you, that tell thing is all an offset for Kane's transfer.
Yeah, and
That's all it is.
And it's just to get bodies in the squad and appease Ange a little bit and appease maybe the fans. But what I'm coming down to is they've misspent the outright money, right, that they've paid to buy players in, and they've misallocated the salaries, right? They should have bought in fewer players and then had a higher salary cap.
A player.
Let's put it that way.
A player,
right?
yeah.
And that way they could have balanced the books just the same, but they've chosen not to do that. They'd rather hedge their bets buying lots of young players at lower salaries and hope one of them turns into a superstar. Now, but hold on.
Bale, saying that after Bale.
Yeah.
7
exactly.
players.
Right. But I would argue after the project has gone on for 25 years now, that's a crap strategy to implement now. What are you going to ask us to do? Wait another 5-10 years? Because that's what he's asking us to do. So
the protests will get bigger.
Years.
The protests will get bigger.
Yeah,
Can we?
Good.
There's 10 more minutes to go before we wrap it up, and I just want to get everyone's Chelsea prediction, and then I want to quickly talk about the protest. Lee, what's your prediction for Chelsea?
Oh, it's going to be a hard one because I don't think either team is doing well recently. But we always turn up with our stethoscope. I'm gonna go for a 2-2. I don't usually do draws, but I'm gonna go for a 2-2.
Lee's going for a brave draw. Lubo, you're going
2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. Same as Jimmy Hotspur. Maz, what were you thinking?
I have to agree. I can't see us scoring, unfortunately. I just can't see us scoring against them. So 2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. Another one. JP.
I can see us scoring, but I think it's going to be 3-1.
Wow.
To Spurs. 3-1 Chelsea. What Iggy?
I'm undecided to which way, but it's 2-1. I think I could see a 2-1 score. Probably Chelsea. 2-1. I don't see us. I love. I was saying earlier on how great it was to see that win when Dele Alli scored, but I just don't see how we're gonna get a result there. I just don't see us prioritising. I just don't see the energy in the league games. Yeah, I think 2-1 Chelsea.
The sad thing is they've had a week to rest, albeit some of them have had a week to rest.
Doesn't matter.
But you know some of the players that he's going to be wanting to keep for Thursday's game, right? That even though we're playing Southampton, Thursday's game is the game, right? End game.
I'm going 2-1 Chelsea as well. I was thinking 2-1 as well. I think we'll score a goal, but Chelsea will somehow win it. The usual Stamford Bridge shit show. Brian Daigle, big up. He says the annual Stamford Bridge defeat. Chelsea could play with 7 on the pitch and still beat us at the bridge. The only result that matters is a massive successful protest with thousands of us, which leads us on to the protest this weekend. So if you don't know, everyone, there's a protest 6th of April, Sunday, the end of Lordship Lane, opposite the Sports Direct as you come up to the stadium from the Seven Sisters Way. Be there for about 11:45, 12 o'clock. It's going to start at 12:15. Walk down the high road and we will do the protest. If you don't know what the protest was like last time, here's a quick reminder. It was pretty big. So I think this one will be bigger if we lose to Chelsea. I think it definitely will be bigger. We're doing a protest special show this Friday, by the way. Check it out. Change for Tottenham. Jay and Billy T will be here 7 p.m. on Friday. They'll be talking about it. And Also, I haven't had a chance to speak to them about what they made of the last protest and what they think of this one. So make sure you join us for that one. And they'll be able to take any questions you've got as well. But all of us, I believe, are going except for Lee, because Lee's off on a really fancy holiday in the sun somewhere. Is that right, Lee?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I will be in South Africa.
Stoke Newton.
Yes, Stoke Newton, yeah. So, yeah, so unfortunately, I can't be there this time, but I'll try and make the next one.
By the way, if you want JP's hoodie or T-shirts, time for change. Go to our club merch shop. JP, he's got them all on there. So,
JP, I see everyone's got these T-shirts. I wonder why's everyone else got these T-shirts and not?
There's a link to the shop down there. So just go there and JP's.
Yeah, there's a link there, Maz. Go buy one.
Lubo's got the scarf. Enough in account. That's a nice scarf, Lubo. That's banging. So yeah, look, Iggy, you weren't at the last protest. You're coming to this one. What?
I'm going to do my best, man, because the boys got a match at 10 o'clock, so it's going to touch and go how I'm going to get from Hertfordshire to the ground. But because it's going to be, what time's the meet up there? For those who don't know,
12, isn't it?
12 o'clock.
Just before 12, yeah, about 12.
Yeah,
The protest starts at 12:15. 12:15.
Tune in on Friday.
What's that, mate?
Billy and Jay will tell you.
Yeah,
It's tight. It's tight with you because of the kickoff times. But yeah, I'll do my very best. But yeah, I have to try and come down at some point. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, so when we used to protest as 50, 60, 70 of us, the last one was on a different level. What do you make of the movement? You know, do you see it as something that's going to grow? It's going to keep growing?
From the offset, I said it was great. It was great that there was a big turnout, and of course the discontent will only grow. And then maybe those people that were a little bit on the fence or didn't want to participate, maybe with 60, 70 people doing it, but with 2,000, they might, they say that strength grows in numbers, right? So perhaps the discontent will just can't carry on growing, and even perhaps the people that are on the fence or perhaps are in favour of these owners. If the discontent grows, then maybe one or two questions will have to ask themselves. Maybe I should really look at this a little bit more. I'm not against people that are against the protest or perhaps are in favour of these ownership. That's their call. But hopefully, like the very least, what these protests will do when they grow in numbers will at least ask those people to consider to have a listen to the two part, have a listen to what's been said, have a look at what's going on, and just gather the information and then make a decision accordingly. So that's the only way you're gonna tip the balance a little bit by saying, people got to do something if they're convinced in doing it. And at the bottom line is, this will only grow. I can because the discontent is there. The discontent continues to be there every year. It's like another year's gone. Another season is gone, and the same stuff keeps happening at Spurs over and over again. If anything, we've regressed massively on the pitch in terms of what we're seeing on the pitch. We've massively regressed.
Yeah, JP, we were at the last one. You were there filming it. I was there trying to film it. You had better equipment than me, but we had it was a cracking protest. I like the fact that we stopped outside the West Stand rather than the club shop, because it was more impactful. You couldn't hide from it. It was great. Do you think it'll be bigger this time?
Stopping Donna Cullen getting in.
Stopping Donna Cullen getting in. That was funny.
I think I said straight after that one the other day that it was quite emotional, the fact that there were so many people there and stuff compared to what we used to, I guess. But I truly do believe that because it's been 50s, 100, 120, whatever it has been before, I think a lot of people were probably still a bit on the fence as to whether to go or not, right? The fact that there was lots of social media circling around, There was videos it was on Sky Sports. We obviously were live there on the channel. There was so much news spread about it. I certainly think that I strongly think there is a strong majority of people who are also just as discontented, but just didn't want to take that first step. And I think now they will. And when you come out, well done to Tottenham and well done to Daniel Levy for getting those statements out today, because I think it's come at the right time. It will just piss people off even more.
It's true.
When
It's
you
true.
hear that we're 700 million in debt, and do you know what? We've got to cut our cloth according to whatever that saying is. But do you know what? We've had this long enough now, and it literally is time for everyone else to stand up as well. So those 2,000 people, I think it'll easily be doubled in that.
Just in addition to that, there will be many people, media non, that will try and discredit the amount of people that are there on Sunday. They will try and bring those numbers down. If there's 2,000, they'll say there's 500 people there, 600 people there. Don't worry, we will have enough footage to show exactly how many people there will be there. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people can see with their own eyes. People can see with their own eyes. So
for the benefit of the
that.
people that cannot be there because they live miles away or a different country, it's for those people to show them, to say, actually, no, there was X amount of people. Don't listen to what anyone else will say.
The good thing
online.
The good thing about
be live.
Listen, we'll be live from there. But the good thing about Change for Tottenham is they've got plenty of people in the media. They pre-arrange for them to be there. They pre-arrange for them to have a story. Sky, Talk Sport, all the Spurs. So, and it's needed as well. So there's no hiding. There's no hiding. Maz, you're coming to this one as well. It's different to the last one. I'll tell you now. It's a lot. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I was gutted that I couldn't make the last one. I had parental duties, a bit like Iggy. But, this one, really looking forward to it. I know Brian's going to be there. Obviously, you guys, I've seen you guys before, so hey-ho. But, yeah.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, man.
Yeah.
Hell yes, I will. Definitely.
No, honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. Like, I haven't seen you guys in a few months, so, yeah, it'll be good to see you. And everyone else, obviously, who goes.
Lubo, you'll be there debating people, debating the naysayers. But yeah, you were at the last one, Lubo, as well. It was a cracking turnout. Do you think this one will be just as good, maybe even better?
I hope there'll be more people there. I would hope so. As JB said, there were people wavering purely because we had between 50 and 150 at the protest last year. And for that 150 to grow to 2,000 shows that it was a well organised rally, march. There were plenty of people, a lot more people that felt the need to go and turn up, and hopefully, this season's just carried on, hasn't it? It hasn't improved at all. Okay, we've got past Alkmaar, but apart from that, league-wise, it's been dreadful. And we're getting no further forward, are we? No, there won't be a fight, Alexander, between Sean and I on the streets. I hope Sean is there, because I think Sean does secretly want Levy out. I do think he's secretly, but he won't say that.
Come on, Sean.
Oh my Lord!
Do it.
No, listen,
I secretly want Levy in.
Yeah,
I just haven't told anyone
I'm
yet.
looking forward to getting everybody singing. We've got our Daigle back. We've got our Daigle back. Looking forward to seeing you, Brian.
Yeah, Brian Daigle will be there. Also, anyone that is coming down that watches our channel but hasn't got a ticket for the game, don't worry, because you're not missing anything out by going in the stadium. But a lot of the guys that watch this channel, that are on this channel, they're going to be going to the Coach and Horses pub afterwards to watch it. So there's going to be quite a gathering of protesters that are going to be at the Coach and Horses pub. So if you do come down, head down to the Coach and Horses afterwards, and you can just have a beer with the guys and watch the game as well, just in case you didn't know. Lee, you're not there again because you're the biggest sellout on the channel. Two protests in a row.
Yep.
What does it feel like to be Levy in?
So it's a great feeling because you know I walk down that high road and see the stadium and I think, what an achievement. I mean, it doesn't matter about the football, right? I mean, I've as free Beyonce tickets, Chili Peppers. I'm absolutely sorted. Yeah, great.
As long as you're happy. As long as you're happy. Look, Lee, it's a shame you can't be there because it'd be good for you to come out as well. But what do you make of the protest? Do you see it as a growing movement? Do you see this as something that's going to just get bigger and more vocal?
Listen, as long as the results keep going the way that they're going, not hoping on that, but obviously that's just the way we're playing football. I can't see how it can't get bigger because more and more fans are just going to get frustrated with it. You know, paying customers, seeing dross, they're going to get the ump in the end. And I think, as I said after the last protest, I saw the protest before with let's just say a handful of people compared to what it was last time. And I didn't have any expectations for the last process of what it was going to be like. But then obviously not being able to attend and then seeing the videos and stuff like that, I think it was a fantastic achievement. To get that many people out singing, walking down the road in front of the stadium, I think was a fantastic achievement. And I think it made noise, and I think it got the message across much louder than, you know, the handful of people that it did the time before, you know. So yeah, I think it's a good achievement. If we can get more, then it just shows that the tide is swinging for more fans, and they've got to start listening. Got to.
That's right. Jimmy Hotspur, are you coming to the protest on Sunday? Proper reply back to the comments.
Yeah, Jimmy Hotspur.
Come and say hello if you are.
Jimmy, hold on. Jimmy, there was a Jimmy in the chat that came to the last protest because he came up to me. But there's two Jimmys in the chat. I don't know if it was Jimmy Hotspur, but there was a Jimmy that I took a photo with him and I put it on the channel. So is it Jimmy Hotspur? I can't remember. Just to let everyone know, Matty K, big up to you. Is there going to be a sit-in? Matt, on Friday, Change for Tottenham are coming on at 7 p.m. Any questions, ask the guys. They can answer everything because I don't know what the full plan is other than the protest itself. Just to let everyone...
Just in case.
Yeah, cause I listen, other than actually the protest, I don't know if there's anything going on after because there was a sit-in last time.
Are you actually going to the match still?
Yeah, I'm going into the stadium.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Levy in.
Mate, I'm going in because I'm going to make some noise, mate. I'm going to make some noise. Don't you worry. I'm wearing my Change for Tottenham. Can I ask you a question? If I wear my Change for Tottenham t-shirt, can they stop me at the gates from going in?
I'll wear it going in.
They can't do nothing, right? It's not going to be like the fucking Gestapo or something on me. I'm going to get...
you can't...
Wear it under your top.
You can tell you can't take your bag in there and charge you 10 quid for it to keep it on site, but he can't tell you can't wear your clothes.
No, because they stopped people with Levy out a t-shirt, didn't they?
It doesn't say Levy out, does it? It tells the truth, right?
Levy out tells the truth.
Yeah, but that's well, okay.
All right. Do you know what? I'll do what Iggy says. I'll put under my jumper and take my jumper off when I'm in. Just to let everyone know, this Thursday... Yeah, I'm going to wear it. This Thursday, we've got a watch along on Big Up. It's going to start on YouTube at 7:30, then on Big Up. And then after the game, we're going to be on YouTube for the post-match analysis show. So we're going to be going for about 4 or 5 hours straight. Come and join us. We'll be going live, as we always do. And then on Friday, we've got the actual protest show itself, 7 p.m. Come and check us on Friday, where Billy and Jay will be answering any questions you've got. And on Sunday, there won't be a watch-along because we're at the protest, but in the evening, we'll be doing a post-match show in the evening. So got quite a few shows coming up this week. Make sure you tune in. Iggy, other than seeing you on Sunday, final words, my man.
Come on, you Spurs. Always.
Come on, you Spurs. JP?
See you on Sunday. I was trying to think what day it was now. Sunday. See everyone on Sunday. All 38,000 of you. Obviously, not for the guys overseas, but you're more than welcome to join us when we're live.
Anyone that wants to meet up with us on Sunday, by the way, if you haven't got our contact numbers, email hello@tottenhamaway.com and we can arrange to meet up with you. I'll put the email there. If you email us, we can arrange to meet up.
You're going to be the coach and horses pub, aren't you?
Or look for 4 bald heads.
You're going to be at the coach and horses pub, innit, watching the game, so you'll be in there.
Or go to the coach and horses straight after. There you go, after the protest. Maz?
Yep. See you guys Sunday.
Everyone's knackered. Everyone's tired, man.
Do you know what?
I've just got no enthusiasm. I'm just being honest. I've just got no enthusiasm for this club at the moment. I don't even know who we're playing. Honestly, it's that bad.
This is why it's important. It's the reason why we do this. The reason why we're going on Sunday. The reason why this is the reason why to change for Tottenham, to change what's happening right now, to change the way we're feeling towards our club right now. Surely, everyone must want to feel different when they're speaking about the football team they love. That's all this is all about.
Lubo.
Listen, I just want to see 3 points on Thursday, 3 points on Sunday, and 5,000 plus on Sunday before the match.
You're going to get 0 points on Thursday, 1 point on Sunday, and hopefully 5,000. We should beat Southampton. Surely we beat Southampton. Yeah. Lee, we're not going to see you for a while, so safe journeys. Enjoy your holiday.
Yeah. Enjoy
Yeah.
it.
I'm going to have a 2.5 week hiatus, so have fun, gents, and Levy in, Ange in.
Wear your t-shirt with pride.
Levy and Ange. Just because a few people in the comments asked, once again, there's your Levy. There's your Levy burger. Enjoy. Best burger in the business. And on that note, see you later. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you on Thursday. Adios.
The first game